We can start, guys. And why do we start? Because we have to. But the idea here is the following. Now, we have this concept which is called Mundo from, I think, League of Legends. I'm not sure. I haven't played this game. But it's a pretty nice concept, so let's analyze it a little bit before we start. So, his head especially is interesting here. So, this distance between this part of the head and this here is smaller than this distance, which is between the jaw. So, overall, the head is something like this. So it is kind of getting wider from the top is smaller and getting wider at the bottom, which is great. I mean, it's amazing. So let's analyze other things. So let's say his skull is around this area here. And if we make the middle line, where is the middle of the skull as a whole? So it's around, I think, this line here. So let's see. You see how now in this particular case, his whole mouth with the chin, the enormous chin, and a little bit of the nose is half of the head. So half of his actual head is his mouth. By the way, his proportions are not that difficult or different from a normal human. It's interesting, but it's not. It's not exactly super different. Because his head is a little bit tilted forward, although not super tilted, but if we see where the ears are starting and where the nose is, so his head is tilted a little bit forward. When you tilt your head forward, you will have this portion of the head will be bigger than the bottom portion of the head. But in this case, even with tilting the head forward, his eyes are not in the middle or below the middle point of the head. So yeah, his proportions are a little bit stylized. It's visible. So obviously he has a huge bottom half and not so huge top half of the head. And that's what we're trying to achieve here. Also, one more thing. Very important actually. For this pose that he's actually doing, where does the traps start? Because some people will do the pose and their traps will start from here, for example, which will not do this pose exactly true. So they start around this area here. So this is when we make a vertical line. This is the beginning of his hair, and that's when, from the beginning of the hair, vertical line, or horizontal, horizontal line, and we have the triceps going on here. So it's almost, the triceps is almost completely covering the whole head except for the hair on the top. It's very nice. I mean, very nice drawing because we have the hair as something like a silhouette line on top of the traps, which is great. So let's try to do it quick here. So it will be quick because I'm usually quick. That's why it will not be very slow. So smaller top part, bigger bottom part, squarish portion of the jaw here. If you want to do this probably will be our weekly challenge in the Discord server. So if you kind of want to test yourself, if you want to do this, you're welcome into the Discord server and into the channel of the weekly challenges. The weekly challenges channel. There you will see people doing this. Some of them are very good. Actually, I was planning to tell them to stop posting there because they are discouraging, even me, some of them. I'm joking, of course. They're actually pushing the level, which is great. Pushing the level up. There are a couple of people who are making amazing stuff, better than mine. And why? You see, I'm a pretty good artist, we may say, but here I'm doing those things pretty quickly. So usually when somebody is relatively good and he spends like double the time, usually his result will be better. Also, when they are doing this, they're not talking in front of like 100 people. I'm not talking in front of 100 people now. I'm talking in front of 85 people. So still I will be able to do it. But when the people in the stream become 100, then I'll be in trouble because talking in front of hundreds of people, even 100 people, is difficult, and it's gonna affect my performance. it's like doing it in front of a lot of people, which is, I don't know if I can do it. I mean about the sex, but sculpting usually I can. Sex, no, probably not. It's gonna be difficult, but it's all about practice, of course. Yeah. I'm sure that those who are porn actors and actresses, they learned how to do it in time, I'm sure. In the beginning, probably it was not very easy for them too. So yeah, we're doing it. We're doing this. So the head maybe should be a little bit longer, as we see. But yeah, it's always about fixing at some point. So it's, in order to do something, in order to fix it, you have to have something. That's why we are doing this fast kind of a sketch. Then we will increase the resolution, then we will do a little bit more sketching or detailing, not too much detail though. And then we'll see what happens. Let's do something like a body. This will be our, let's say, body. It's not a body, but it's a piece of the body, we may say. Up here, like this. Alright. And hair. Let's put some hair. This is the hair. It will be smaller, relatively. And the hair, I will not put any symmetry to the hair, because it's useless to put symmetry on this particular type of hair. His hair doesn't have any symmetry, in my opinion, so we will do it as it is. I'm sketching it very, very loosely right now, and this will help us when we remesh. So many people are asking every time, how do you remesh in Blender? How do you change the poly count of your mesh so fast in Blender? It's called remeshing, and it is pretty easy with the shortcuts. And yes, many people, beginners especially, they don't tend to use shortcuts, but that's a mistake. You have to try, in my opinion, you have to try, and you must kind of push yourself to use as much shortcuts as you possibly can, because this will be, this is the strength, we may say, of Blender, the shortcuts. And yeah, remeshing is done with pressing R, adjusting the grid, and the smaller the grid is, the more polygons will be. So around this size will be fine, and Control R will apply the grid. And now we have this. So if you want to try Blender, of course you can. Everybody can try Blender. It's not as easy as it looks, usually. For me it's super easy, but you know, it's always, when you're a professional, usually the things seem very easy for you. In the beginning it will always be hard, but let that not be something that will put you down, because it's a creation, and everybody, I mean everybody, absolutely everybody, we are human, and we have this kind of urge to create, to make something nice. And yeah, that's one of the ways that you can do it, by creating something digitally, even sculpting, without messing up your apartment with clay, because you can do it with clay also, but digital is a little bit more messy-less. So messy-less, the football fans will say we don't want messy-less, but Messi is already kind of a old guy, and he probably will stop play if he hasn't already, I don't know. Ronaldo too, so yeah, they're getting older, right? Okay, let's push this here a little bit more in, and it is kind of fine, but the face needs more work. Of course, in order to do more work on the face, I need to remesh again, so R, adjusting the net, adjusting the grid, and then you do it with Control R. We accept it. So now I will do little ears, and that should be amazing, or not, we'll see. Hello Nico, I want to move to Blender for sculpting, but I still feel so sorry for the time I spent to learn ZBrush. I'm sure you understand, I used ZBrush 2022 before Maxon. By the way, let me ask you, okay, what do you want? Something. Are there any tools you miss from ZBrush? The only tool I kind of miss from ZBrush is it already has something in Blender. I mean, it already has a add-on for it in Blender. So no, I'm not missing anything. I mean, I don't see a reason for somebody to go to Blender except to do something with this free software, or to be able to work everywhere. So you see, if you are using ZBrush, for example, and suddenly you go to a company that they don't use ZBrush because they don't have licenses for ZBrush, but they are using, for example, Blender, because Blender is relatively good. So it will be a mess. I mean, you will not be able to do it because you don't know Blender. So Blender is always nice to learn, even how to sculpt, not only how to model in Blender, but modeling in Blender also is amazing. You can always go as a whatever 3D artist, not only character artist, but environment and prop artist with Blender in almost any company, because the end result is a 3D file, and the 3D file can be relatively easy converted between different programs. So imagine they are working with 3D Max in the company that you want to go. You are doing amazing props, for example, with Blender, and you're showing them your work, and they say, okay, this is amazing work. They don't know that you are working with Blender. But then when you go there, you say, okay, I'm working mostly with Blender. And they will not be able to say, oh no, we are working with Max, we don't want to pay a license for another program because Blender is free. So that usually is helpful to know Blender in any case. If they're using Cinema 4D, you can use Blender. If they're using Maya, you can use Blender. If they're using whatever, you can use Blender. ZBrush is very helpful to know also, because most of the old companies, the old gaming companies usually, they're using still ZBrush, and they are paying licenses and stuff. But even if you don't use ZBrush and you use Blender for sculpting, I think you will be, again, fine, because they will not have to pay a license for you, and that's a good thing. You will say, okay, I will do my things in Blender, and you don't have to pay license for me, and everything is fine. This, for bigger companies, is not a concern, the licenses. But for smaller indie companies, which are a lot, it's a concern. Everything is concerned there. Everything money-wise is a concern. So we see we have a base of the head of our Mundo character. Now I want to make him more squarish, so this flat, this a little bit flat here. Yeah, the chin is more squarish. At some point we have to erase the symmetry, but I want a little bit more polygons for the head before I start doing the symmetry stuff. Let's analyze, by the way, where, let's see, inside, this part of the nose, and it's pretty close to the eye. So I think it should be a little bit more upwards, or the eyes should go a little bit more down. The nose is not symmetrical as well, so we'll have to fix the unsymmetry. There are not too many symmetrical things on the face of our guy now, right now, but it's not a problem. We will do it. How to do the eyes? Okay, we will just do this with the draw sharp brush, and then we will see how it looks from below, because it's very important for the eyeball to be kind of a half sphere. So if it's another shape, we have to fix it. We can always put an eyeball inside, which will be the right thing to do. And we probably should. But let's see what we can do without. And then we will think about the eyeball. We have eyebrows. Thick black eyebrows. And when we put the color, it will start to look more and more like the character. Now it's not exactly, but this is the eyeball, what I'm doing right now. It will be relatively small for the head of this character because it's better. I think this will be a nice eyeball, and we can build the eye around it. Let's subdivision surface it like 3 times. Although we don't need too much detail on exactly the eyeball, but still. And now when we have the eyeball relatively in place, we can make sure our upper eyelid is kind of the same distance from the eyeball. So it's not like this, you know. It's like covering all around the eyeball. And the bottom eyelid we will do kind of the same. The bottom eyelid, usually, from the side view, if you have watched my course about head anatomy, it's a cool course, I would say. It's in the description of the video. It's paid, yes, I know. It's not too much money. It's around $20 in ArtStation, I think. But it's good. You will know that the lower eyelid from the side view usually is falling a little bit backwards from the upper eyelid. Let me show you. So it's like the upper eyelid is here and the lower eyelid starts a little bit from backwards. And that should be the thing here also. If we play our cards right, so if we do this nicely, especially the eye, around the eye and everything, it's gonna be better model. Usually the eye is very important to do right. If you don't, then all of it will fail. You will fail miserably in all the model. The eyes are sometimes the deal breaker of when we're making a head model. Many times, I would say. I've seen people making relatively nice faces. The mouth is fine, it's not that bad, I mean it's fine. But the eyes, not good. So pay attention there. This is a weak point for many people. For me also, actually, but I kind of know how to handle it. Because I'm old and wise, we may say. If we take down the symmetry and start doing this, so we have to put this angle of the mouth very close to the eye. So 1 eyeball distance. So let's do it a little by little. Something like this. Then this line here, the upper lip, will be kind of without angles, so it will be very smooth going on. Okay. Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit like him. But as you see, I'm analyzing the concept, and I'm trying to keep all the details, all the proportions correct to the concept, so I can actually make it work. Let's see this distance here, it's kind of close to ours. Let's make this a little bit smaller and maybe a little bit more like this. Double the nose. Split the nose, we may say. Here we can smooth it out because in the concept there is no such huge crease in there. We will inflate this area a little bit. And kind of we have it. So in this case, his teeth are actually, interesting enough, they are following the upper lip, which usually will not happen in the real life, because when you are smiling or you are doing this with your face, The skull, it doesn't do this. The skull stays the same. So it usually will not, the teeth are usually not gonna follow the upper lip. But in this case, we will do it because we don't care. It's the concept thing, so we will just go with it. It's not a problem for me, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. These are the teeth. And we will now make some teeth, right? It's easy. So here and here. Making some actual fast teeth. Good, so we have to watch our model from different views. Otherwise it will be awkward. But it's starting to look a little bit like the concept. Not too much though, and it will, as you know, if you probably watch my channel a little bit more, you probably know that we will not be able to make it very close to the concept. It will be relatively close, but not too much. And you will say why. Because we're not good enough. That's the truth. If we were good enough, then we will be able to... By the way, let me just select everything except for the body and tilt it because his head is relatively tilted and maybe a little bit forward like this. And I failed miserably because I had to first go and mirror this eye. If we don't mirror the eye, then it will be a little bit more difficult to fit it in there. So again, let's do it. Rotate it. And yes, this is fine. So the distance between the eyebrows and the hair, in my case, is a little bit too much. So we have to fix that. I'm guessing how to do it. Just push the hair or the overall skull down and the hair also with it. The hair could be a little bit smaller probably. Alright. I purchased your head, arms and legs course. I haven't started them yet. Do any of them cover the torso, or are you planning to launch a torso focus course? I'm planning the torso course in the beginning of next year, most likely. Does Sydney Sweeney have a good genes? That's an interesting question. He looks like Daniel Defoe. A little bit, yes. The Go Z add-on to send meshes from ZBrush to Blender is amazing. Good point anyway, thank you. Brother, are you at Bulgaria now? Yes, I am. I think you missed the subtool mechanism, brother. Okay. I don't miss it right now. I missed it in the beginning, but then I just made my workflow and I don't miss it. Yeah, it's a nice mechanism. It's a good thing. Here we have to do similar things with multi-res. Not exactly that good as ZBrush. And yeah, that's true. That's true. Sri from Bharat. I have never used any other software, only Blender, and I have never thought about being employed. I'm for freelance gigs and stuff like teaching, like you do with the courses. So yeah, if you're not about working in a studio, you can freelance easily with Blender without any particular issues. Nobody will care what program are you doing your models if the models are good enough for their purposes. So they will say, yeah, just do this model and give us the end result as FBX or whatever, and you will be fine. So Blender is very good for freelancing. But you know, when you're freelancing, especially in countries like mine, where you can easily pirate stuff, so you can kind of use ZBrush even without paying for license, which is it's not exactly super nice because people who are making the program, they are relying on sales. And even if Maxon didn't actually make ZBrush, they just bought it at some point, it's not very nice to pirate it, you know. But it's absolutely cool to pirate Blender, and that's what we are all doing. Although I've paid for the Blender Foundation, I think €50 I gave them at some point. because it's a courtesy thing. I mean, I'm using their software to do YouTube videos, to do a lot of courses. I'm making money from it. And yeah, it's free, but I can share a little bit of this to them. This amazing team that made Blender. The software that it is today. By the way, Blender, back in the days, like let's say 15 years from now, 15 years ago, was not that good at all. It was buggy, it was crashing all the time, it was bad, bad, bad. Now, completely different story. It's pretty stable and it's absolutely workable. I'm working all my freelances and everything, all my courses, everything. I haven't opened ZBrush since like, I don't know, for 3 years now. And I'm always using Blender because it's amazing. It's also starting pretty fast. So when you start Blender, it just starts for like seconds. So that's also a very good thing. But it's also super capable. You cannot stay away from that. It's super, super capable software. And I've spoken with people. There are very, very small amount of cases where Maya or Max can do stuff that Blender can't. Very small. So usually Blender is better than those programs. And those programs, it's a shame for them because they are very, very expensive. Maya and Max are hugely expensive programs and they are not worth it a single penny since Blender version 2.8, I think. Since 2.8, Blender is the king and all the other programs are shit. What? I have to rotate this. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, we need the teeth like this. And put them here. Yeah, I'm using the upper teeth just for the lower teeth. It's gonna be a little bit awkward, but I will probably be able to handle it. Yeah, it's happening. Right here, right now. For everybody to see. Okay, it's similar. We have to put the tongue there. So 27 minutes into this video, we have something which kind of look like our guy. It's not a huge success. Again, if I do this for 10 minutes, I will consider it a success. Now I consider it like something normal. For 30 minutes almost. And we will do one arm. At least one. Because we have time. And also, because I like it. And I will not use the concept for this arm. I will do it just by myself because I have artistic urge to do some stuff different than the concept sometimes. And this is one of those times with this model. But you will see. It's gonna be a little bit more interesting than the concept, I think. So we have some kind of saliva going on, which we will probably not do, although you can actually do it without any issue. But I probably will not. This is the tongue. I will smooth it. And then I will inflate some of the areas of the tongue. Let's see. Okay, his head in the concept is narrower than mine. So let's narrow it down. Push the ears upward. And he will start to look a bit more like our concept. The lower lip should be a little bit more upwards and thinner. It's thinner in the concept. Good. We are analyzing again. Always. We have to always analyze in our heads. So yeah, even if you don't analyze it out loud, then you should analyze it in your head. Because otherwise, yeah, this could be easily the Hulk actually. So let's do some traps. These are the traps. Let's do some clavicle and this. Here will be the clavicle. Nice. And I will add a cylinder. What is the cylinder for, Nico? We will see. This cylinder will be his collar. Not collar, but collar. Collar. No, collar. Yeah, his collar. I don't know why it's exactly here, but it should be around here. Scale it up a little bit, and then I will erase the top and the bottom because I don't need them. Then I will add a solidify modifier, which will give us the thickness that we need here, and we will have a collar. Amazing. So easy. Now, I will need to make the arm. So this will be his arm. You say it's very small, but we can make it bigger, like this. And then this will be our shoulder. This will be our biceps. This will be our forearm, and it will be bent almost more than 90 degrees. It will be bent because we need to put it like this, and Control R to remesh it because it's needed. Then a huge shoulder we have to make. Let's make it. The shoulder is pretty important part of our character. Should be very big because he is very strong. He has a huge body, not so huge head, obviously, and yeah, this is his biceps. It will be a little bit more squarish, and the biceps should be very, very huge. Also, the triceps should be relatively big. Here in the back, we may make something like this, which would be our torso like that. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to do it without a concept, because the concept, as you can see, is his arm is in a different position, and I want to make it a little bit more interesting. I want him to show the metal sign to us. That's what I'm trying to achieve here. We'll see if I will be able to. This will be his palm. This will be his thumb. So usually when I'm making a palm or hand, I am doing this. First, I'm making a continuation of the arm. Then I'm pulling a thumb out. And the other things will be for the palm itself and where the fingers will be. And the fingers I will put separately, because it's always, you have more control when you put the fingers separately. If you try to put them with the palm, it's gonna work. But actually, let's do it. Let's do it with the palm. So this will be one finger, this will be another, and here will be the others, like this. Yeah, I know that's awful, but we will fix it with a little bit more geometry, then inflating some parts, and maybe we will lose a little bit more time in this case, but I just want to show you that it's possible to do it this way. It's not the right way, actually, but It's possible. Usually I put another mesh and then it's you have more control. Now I have to do it like a sculptor, like a normal sculptor, which I'm not. I'm a sculptor from AliExpress, so I cannot. If you ask a traditional sculptor about the digital sculptors like me, he will say, those guys, they have symmetry, they don't mess their hands and everything with clay, so they don't know what they're doing. It's easy for them. It's like a computer is doing the most of the thing. Especially the old traditional sculptors, they think that the computer is doing most of the thing, and you are just an operator of the computer. And yes, soon maybe with the AI, soon maybe they will be right. But for now, it's not exactly the case, as you can see. As you can see, I'm doing everything by hand, completely and utterly. Without leaving anything to the computer itself. I'm not using symmetry even for this arm right now. The thumb is bad, but we'll fix it. So you see why I'm deviating from the concept. I just like this idea a little bit better. The idea of the arm like this. Because with his tongue like that, he's looking like a metalhead. And I know because I am kind of metalhead, we may say. So I know them. I recognize metalheads when I see them, and this guy is definitely a metalhead. He's not into the traditional music. He's onto death metal. Or even thrash metal, or groovy metal. Why not? But metal anyway. So let's see what's happening with the elbow. So from the elbow here, we will have something going on like this. We'll have this bulging here, this muscle. And then we'll have all the muscles of the forearm going forward like this from here. Good. We'll have this bone following down like this. And here we will bulge this with inflation. Here we will have a little bit of muscles going on. And yeah, we kind of have it. Not the best, but it's fine. For 38 minutes, it's cool. We will color it at some point, the whole thing. So stay tuned for that. You don't run away right now. 180 people watching, so now it's above 100 people watching. So it's starting to get difficult for me. I'm starting to, my hands starting to shake, my voice starting to shake, and I'm starting to get, what is this? When you are, when there are a lot of people and you have to talk in front of those people, it's this fear of talking in public, you know. It's a real fear, actually, and I have it in a big way, but here in front of the camera in my house, I cannot see all those people, you know, that are watching, so it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Nothing is disturbing us. So this will be his chest here that we're working. By the way, I can take this arm and probably mirror it on the other side. Yeah, we have to be careful. Merging shouldn't be there, and apply the mirror. Then I will select one of the arms and move it. So it is like this. Yeah, something like this will be better. Not symmetrical, I like it to not be that symmetrical. Symmetry is cool, but most of the time we have to be careful with it. We don't have to use it. Especially in something that will have to look nice and not completely digitally made. Although this still looks like it's completely digitally made, if we have to be honest with ourselves. But the more we break the symmetry, the better it will look. And it takes time, of course, but nobody says it's easy. All right. It's starting to look almost like new. Yeah, when something is looking relatively nice, I always say that it's looking like it's from the store, like it's made in a factory. Because things that are made in the factory usually are very polished, very nice looking. So yeah, that's the case here. It's not polished yet. It will not be polished even, ever, but still, it's relatively nice looking. Let's do a little bit of color, and this should be this kind of color probably. This is the black, and we will use this also for the eyebrows, but before eyebrows we have to color the head relatively this color, also the body, also the arms. So this is the not pink, but what was this color? Purple. The purple Hulk. It looks like a purple Hulk, right? It doesn't look like Mundo, although we don't know how Mundo looks. At least I don't know. I'm not sure how Mundo looks. Anatomy is so important. I realize it every time I see you sculpting. Yeah, it's very important. Nico, where is his neck? His neck is gone. It's disappeared. Neck pack is not downloaded. Yeah, exactly. This reminds me of Lobo course. Yeah, exactly. That's almost like the Lobo character, like a metal character with the tongue out. It's cool. And Lobo also is making this kind of sign with his hand. One of his hand. The other one, I think, doesn't make the sound, the sign. I'm not sure exactly. Let me see. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, he's here. So yeah, one of the arms is holding the weapon, and the other arm is actually doing this particular sign with the hand. And when I was doing this course, of course I had time, so I did the arm properly. Come on, focus on this guy, not on me. Yeah. And he has similar expression on his face. That's why it reminds some people. I have to be careful because there are some parts which are very, very fragile. 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 These huge fingers. And what about his tongue? Let's see. He will be, or it, the tongue, I mean, will be kind of a bluish. We'll put some bluish hues on it. Let's take this kind of a bluish hue and put it on. And maybe a little bit of purple also we will have there. Yeah, like this. Then for the our actual face, we will need a little bit of some other hues here and there. Because it's, only purple, only one color usually is boring. And it looks like a toy. looks like a Barbie. It's not exactly, he doesn't look like a Barbie, we may say. He's not particularly looking like a Barbie. Yeah. But what I'm saying is not exactly that. His skin doesn't look like a skin, it looks like a plastic. So when you're making something, put more variety in the skin. Even if it's a realistic character or something, especially if it's a realistic actually. But even if it's not realistic, variety on the skin is matters. It's a good thing to do. You can make variety actually by getting one kind of color, then getting vivid light or color dodge or whatever, and just, you know, do this stuff. This will be for darkening some stuff, like here. We can darken some areas in the mouth, below the nose, and of course I will go away from this just to fix what I did here. The eyes themselves, let's make them the same color, brighten them a little bit, and then we can put some like areas, subdivision, and then we can put some things like this. So yeah, they look nicer. Again, we can go to color dodge, for example, and just do a little bit more on the eyes. Maybe darker color, let's see. Multiply we can use for the shadow on the top. There will always be a shadow on the eyeball, on the top part, from the eyelashes, from the eyeballs, from everything. So yeah, we have to try to achieve that. Here we will have this thing. I don't have the radius, but now I have it, so it's fine. Okay, so the mouth, the teeth also, they have to have some shadow over them. So I will do this. Shadow on the teeth. Dun, 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 dun. Shadow on the teeth. There is shadow on the teeth. No, by the way, here we'll make it darker because as you can see, the back of the head, so around the head everything is very dark, so the head is kind of popping out and we can see it better because everything around it is kind of dark. That's why we will do this and it will pop a little bit better. Here we can do this interesting stuff. Let's see, by the way, this kind of purplish mess with color dodge. I think we can do it. These things. His saliva or whatever it is, I don't know what exactly is this, but we can actually try to achieve this here, this effect, also here. Just for better concept stuff, you know. Just to be able to do the concept nicer. Now, here I will put, since this is kind of in front of the camera here, I want to put some nails into the mix and maybe color them a little bit white or similar. But whitish will be nice. Yeah, this is color dodge, that's why they are so white. But with color dodge, if we select this color, for example, we can add a little bit of variety here also in the hand. Also here. This tongue is amazing, actually. Let's select the tongue and add variety on it also, like this. So nice tongue. Variety on the head here. This, let me see if I can select this and push it down a little bit. I don't want to cover the face that much. Yeah, this way is better. It was covering the head a little bit too much, and we will not be able to see what's happening with the... Yeah, but it's kind of fine. Stage fright, yeah, exactly. But we see you. Yeah, I know you see me, but I don't see you, so that's a good thing for me. If I see you, then it will be difficult for me to concentrate most of the time. Although if I'm sculpting, it's not gonna be that hard. Because when I'm sculpting, I usually watch my monitor. If I watch the audience when I'm talking, then it's a problem. And once I was trying to speak in front of public, there were like 1,000 people, for example, not more than 1,000. But it was a huge crowd for me. And I was speaking, and suddenly I tried something that people say that you have to do. You have to watch at the crowd, not watching there or something. You have to watch at the crowd. So I tried to watch it on the crowd, and I forgot everything that I had to say. And I was like, okay. And I started to speak like this. Okay, everything is black. I forgot what I was about to say. I'm sorry, guys, but we will think of something. And then I moved my eyes. You know, I tried to be honest. So I was honest with the public. I was honest that what happened. I was honest that everything became blank. And it happens. It's normal. It happens, but you don't have to be afraid. You just have to be probably honest, or you have to have a plan for this. When everything comes blank, you can just turn around, just check your computer or whatever you have on the scene or whatever. Also, if you cannot do this, or if you want to be able to do this easier, it's easier when you practice it. So you cannot do it without practicing it. It's not actually very possible. Shadow on the saliva. When you go to the sea, have you tried to make something like sand sculpture? Yeah, I tried, but sand sculpture is usually with a different type of sand. It's a sand which is enriched with kind of water, I think, and then it's left to dry, and it's a little bit different than the normal sand on the beach. So it's not very easy. I tried a couple of times, but I don't have the patience to do something relatively good. Nico, I enjoy and can both sculpt characters and create environments props. Which area would you focus on now, considering the market and that I'm not a master sculptor like you? Thanks. So you see, now more and more programs are AI more and more AIs are concentrating their efforts to make props. So they can make actually not bad props right now. They can make a nice everything in a room, for example. The AI can make probably relatively nice, but characters still they cannot do. So in my opinion, if you want to concentrate on something, don't concentrate on environment. It's gonna be useless in a couple of months even, probably. When you paint, you don't have to apply material. No, this is not a material or texture. This is a vertex paint, so we are painting directly on the vertices. Yeah. When you have less vertices, it will be less accurate, and you will have less detail, definitely. Do you think Mundo is natty or on steroids? I would say he's probably natural because he's some kind of a monster. He's not exactly human, I think. Or, although he's humanoid, definitely. But if he's on steroids, he probably is on a lot of steroids if he was before a human, for example. I don't know if he was a human. We don't know that. We just don't actually know. Our Mundo is a little bit blue. a little bit purple, and the concept Mundo is more blue. But I don't think that's a huge deal breaker. Maybe it's not even a deal breaker. It shouldn't be. So it's fine. We can put the cavity and it will be a little bit more interesting. Although if we get like, yeah, let's take it down a notch. And cavity world, yeah, world cavity is better. Mundo. Mr. Nico, thank you for your absolute beginner ZBrush course. Despite the UI confusion, it's very amazing and straightforward to me by your teaching way. Hope you succeed and happy life, sir. Thank you very much, Dan. And yeah, my ZBrush course is kind of old already. It's like 5 years old or 6, I'm not sure. And I think my first course I made 2020, so it's 5 years old, the ZBrush course. And ZBrush, since this age, has made some changes probably in the UI, not too much, I guess. So the course is still relevant. People are buying it, people are liking it, even now, the ZBrush course, because it's kind of giving you the basics, and even a little bit beyond the basics. Bangladesh is here also, very nice. When you sculpt these characters, do you do retopology afterwards? For these characters here in the stream, usually I don't do retopology. Although, a couple of streams ago, if you go to this channel and go to lives, you will see all the streams. And this channel is mostly for streams. My other channel is for educational videos, educational content, and it's kind of more on point, the videos on the other channel. This channel is more for streams, for just regular stuff, nice, like overall things. So yeah, a couple of streams ago I did a human body, a whole man, from sphere, from nothing. I did it, and then I retopologized it, and I rigged it, and I posted it for hour and a half, something like this. So you can check it out for retopology, although it was automatic retopology. And automatic retopology is fine, but it cannot be used in real kind of a game stuff. So for the characters that I'm doing for games or for movies, I am doing retopology by hand, completely by hand, polygon by polygon. And I show that in my latest course, which is probably in the description below. You can find also all my courses, and my latest one is the Mod Girl. But of course, I can always show it, because it will be easier to show it on screen. So this is my portfolio in ArtStation. And most of those things are courses, except for this girl here with the pistol, with the gun, and the tick. The tick is not from a course. I just did it. So this is the latest course I did, and this is kind of unique course because I show everything that's needed to make a game character, and to pose it and to render it, everything is in Blender, and it's absolutely free. So this is a free course. It's not a free course, actually, it's paid, I'm sorry. But I'm using only free tools. Blender, it's free, and I think 2 add-ons I'm using in this course, which are free add-ons. So Uku Paint is one of the add-ons, and the other one is, I don't know. But for unwrapping, for retopology, I don't use add-ons. I use the default Blender, and it's completely enough to make a character like this, which is relatively complex character. And you can find those this course and all the others here in the store. So you have portfolio and store below, and you can go to the store and check it out. All the things are here. If we go to shop, marketplace, in here, yeah, we have some stuff. We go to tutorials, and it's also here, but you have to hide products created with AI. Although in the tutorials, mostly things are not created with AI, because people are making the tutorials, but we are still here. The feet and leg course is here, the head anatomy is here, and this course also is from one of our guys in the Discord. He's pretty good, actually, as you can see. But he's doing this course for this fast track tutorial, so it's not for him. So yeah. They paid him, he done the tutorial. That's how I started, actually. I started by doing tutorials for other people. I was paid to do a course. I do the course, I record it, I give it to the guy, and he is paying me amount of money, and then this course he's selling it, he's doing whatever he wants with it. Which turns out to not be the best thing, so I started doing the courses for myself. And now, I think I'm better. Can we suggest characters to use Sculpt? Yeah, you can. There is a section in the Discord server, which is in the description actually again. And this section is called Suggestions for Streams. And in this Suggestions for Streams, people are suggesting what I should sculpt in the streams. So yeah, there are nice things going on in here. Of course, this one is a little bit too much. I mean, it will be difficult to sculpt all those details, so I prefer something like this. This is relatively good for stream. I can do probably the whole character, a 3D sketch of this whole character, the base stuff, for like 2 hours. Maybe I can kind of sketch the whole character out. So stuff like this, and this actually is from Labrospanosis, which I did a couple of things from him, because his creations, his art, is very, very nice for this kind of streams, because it's relatively simple, big forms, and it looks awesome at the end, so it's cool. But this is suggestions for streams. Weekly Sculpt Challenge channel. Here people, as you can see, are doing nice things. This is where this character will be, and let's actually export this, and I will do the post right now in stream because we have time, and then I will continue with questions if you have questions. So I will post it here and I will say okay. It's a good start to say okay. And then everyone, and if you go to the server, to the Discord server, we have 10,000 people in the Discord server, but most of them are probably they are muted the server, which is not the best thing you can do. Although you can mute the whole server except for the announcement channel, which is better be not muted, because you will not have my announcements, which are usually about streams. Yeah, when I do streams. And here also the weekly sculpt challenge, when I announce it, I ping everyone. But of course, you will see that not many people have this turned on, the notifications for the channel. But we'll see. Okay, everyone, the new challenge is here again. Like, interesting here. It's a concept from who? Let's see, Alex Flores. Okay, Alex Flores. Alex Flores has very nice things also. You can check him out by going to ArtStation and write Alex Flores. I'm not putting a link because it will mess up a little bit the post, but this is not Alex Flores. This is Labrospanosis. This is the other guy. And Alex, let's go to this. And why? What am I doing? Alex Flores. Here is probably the first guy or the second guy, we will see. Yeah, this is the guy. He has 82,000 followers here, 83 almost, which means that he is far better than me and you and everybody combined. So this guy is super good. And he has nice things, although not too many, but relatively nice. And this is what we're doing, this guy, which is Mundo, the Madman of Zone. By the way, this guy is illustrator in Riot Games. So yeah, probably he's relatively professional. I may say he's kind of a professional. No more than us, but maybe a little bit more. Okay, smiley face, and because I'm always like smiling when I put this post. Yeah. Also what I do is I take my version like this, I make a screenshot and I post it like saying this is my version from the stream. You don't see it because it's on the other channel, but on the other monitor, I have a couple of monitors here. Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, you see, there is a tip for you. When you want to compare your model with the concept, usually when you're working like this with the pure ref here and the concept, it's not the best way. The best way is to post it somewhere. When you post it somewhere, then you can see, we have some issues, like the angle of the tongue is a little bit different, and the hair probably should be smaller, and or other stuff. And you can see it when you post actual images of your model and actual image of the image. When it's like this, a 3D, and the image here, it's not gonna work that way. I mean, you will not be able to see all the problems and all the inconsistencies. So when you kind of print screen it and post it somewhere, then you will see. And you can easily post your work in progress here in this channel, or you can post your works in progress for this particular sculpt challenge in the whips section. Oh, this is the Judge Dredd, looking cool, pretty cool. Although, as I see it now, his neck is very thin. So this is Judge Dredd, but very weak Judge Dredd. His neck has to be pretty thick. You see, it's looking a little bit awkward, but it's an interesting render. This is a cool concept, I would say, pretty cool, and it's starting to get nice. And people in the whips, they're posting their works, and it's very important to post your stuff, even if nobody's kind of liking it or nobody's commenting on it. When you post it, you will see it from a different angle. Immediately you will see it, or even a little bit after, you will watch it and you'll say, okay, yeah, maybe this light is a little bit too much here, maybe it's kind of flattening it a little bit, it's not that good, or maybe I have to fix the face and make it better, and other stuffs. But we see overall, we see a lot of nice things going on here. This is a whip. It looks cool. I would say it looks cool. A lot of... yeah. This, by the way, we have to be careful when we're making this kind of stuff. When we're making something from a concept and we want to make a likeness, we have to be able to observe what's the focal length of this photograph. Because if it's like different focal length than our focal length here in Blender, for example, we will not be able to capture it nicely. And also, she's pretty asymmetrical, and this is a symmetrical mesh. Also, when you're making something from a concept, or you want to make likeness of a live character, a live person, then you have to always have a very nice references from the profile view, from the 3/4 view, and from the front view, preferably with in the same age, because you know those actors and actresses, they tend to age a little bit. So if you have a different age, then you will be able to mess it up. Ooh, this is, wow, pretty cool. Boots. All right. Good stuff in the whips section. The weekly sculpt challenge, people are liking it. And yeah, let's see. I used to fight myself whenever I have to do public speaking, but I also rehearsed until it was second nature, and it helped working through the nervousness. Exactly. Many people are going like me. I had this mistake. So I was about to speak in front of the public, and I know that I will speak. So I was practicing my speech a little bit, but it's not a written speech. I was practicing what I was roughly about to say, and that's when things go wrong, because you know what roughly you have to say, but you lose your words when you are in front of this many people, and you are like, and that's it. You're done. So yeah. What camera and lighting setup do you use to start sculpting in Blender? I use the default everything, so yeah. I just model a robot because I'm not good with sculptor. Yeah, you can. You can model even characters. Some simple characters, they can be modeled. It's not a huge issue. He was human, he transformed himself. He is what steroids is. Yeah, exactly. He's Hulk, but steroid Hulk, not radiation Hulk. It also helps to know what other people don't really see the nervousness, so it's really only felt and not seen. Yeah, but that doesn't help, especially in the beginning where you don't have the experience. Some people even are nervous when they're speaking to a simple, small camera lens in front of their faces in their homes. I was like that in the beginning, but of course it passed away because of a lot of practice. That's why it's easy for me now. I got late one done, great stuff, still need to watch it. Okay, I really like to focus on characters, but here in Italy everything I find is related to ArcVis in Unreal, so I was thinking about focusing on environment work instead. Thanks, Nick. So if you think in your current position, in your current market, that architectural visualization will be better for you, of course, it's what you have to do. And you said that you are equally happy to do characters and environment, so it's easy. What is the hardest thing for you to sculpt? What do you struggle with? I struggle mostly with babies and female sculpts, you know. To make a very beautiful female face, it's probably one of the difficult things, one of the most difficult things. To make a monster is one of the easier things. To make monster look nice, it has to be ugly, it has to be relatively close to the concept, which is easy. But it doesn't have to be as close to the concept as a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman, if you mess up a couple of things, very small things, then it will become a transgender man, most likely, or something like this. Or transgender woman, or something completely different. So it's not easy. I mute every single server. Most of us are muting every single server because, you know, why are you in these servers actually, if you want to mute them? So I start to ask myself these questions. When I'm muting a server, I say, okay, do you want to mute the server, or you want to just leave the server? It's gonna be easier. So I'm periodically cleaning my servers in the Discord. Because if I don't visit it for a month, for example, I don't need it. For example, I haven't visited Midjourney for a lot of time, so I probably have to get away from it. I'm using now the other AIs to make some pictures if I have to make, for my daughter, for example, to make some rabbit with the AI. Okay, let's do it. And I'm making a rabbit, for example, for color book style, and it's I print it and she color it. But usually I have to put it in Photoshop and fix some fingers and other stuff because it's a problem. What's the best way to sculpt an open mouth in Blender? I usually sculpt first a closed mouth, and then I just mask the bottom jaw with the bottom lip and just open it a little bit, and then push it, remesh, push a little bit more, put teeth, tongue, and it's nice. Amigo, do you use Substance Painter for texturing? Yes, I usually use Substance Painter for texturing, but Blender is good enough, and that's my latest course, where I show how you can do this with only Blender. And it's possible. I'm not saying it's faster, I'm not saying it's better like overall, but you can do most of the things that you can do with Substance Painter with Blender, a little bit slower, a little bit more painful. That's why when I'm doing freelance, I use Substance Painter, actually. I'm from Texas. Hello. The root of the tongue will be a little bit down, so it look coming from inside the mouth. Yeah, probably yes. Will Blender become the industry standard, or will it remain indie developers and freelancers? It depends. I mean, Blender is, I think it's industry standard these days, because when you are talking about software that won an Oscar for an animated movie, this was the movie Flow, I think, last year. So it's probably already an industry standard software, we can say. Of course, the many of the biggest companies, they still don't use it because of reasons. It's not that it's not good enough. There are a couple of reasons that the big studios are still not using Blender. One of the reasons is that Blender it's free, yes, and this means that it doesn't have the needed support. The big company needs to have a support for their software. So if something happens, they rely on this support. And when they pay a couple $1,000 for a license for Max, for 3D Max, for Maya, so they rely on the support. But this is not the only reason. The other reason is that most of the people who are still working in those companies are people who are working for years and they don't know Blender. They know Max or Maya or Cinema 4D, whatever this company is working with. And they're good enough, so it's fine. Also, many of those companies, the big ones, the old companies, they have a lot of plugins or add-ons for the current software that they're using, Max, Maya, or whatever. They have custom built plugins inside the company for these softwares. And by the way, Gameloft, that's why they don't go to Blender, because they don't have those plugins for Blender. But Gameloft, when I was leaving 3 years ago, they were having a guy, a programmer, rewriting all those plugins for Max, because we were using Max in Gameloft. He was rewriting all those plugins for Max for Blender. So they were doing kind of a transitional move to slowly move into Blender, most likely. So I'm not saying it's not an industry standard right now. It's kind of starting to be an industry standard, and it will be more and more because it's free, and more companies will start using it, in my opinion. And a lot of the young people who are now starting to go into the industry, all of them are knowing, they're Blender guys, most of them. So yeah. Pozdravil Sofia, which means hello from Sofia. Lydia Dimitrov says. Okay, Lydia, hello. I worked as a caricature artist and babies were too soft to draw accurately in many cases. Women were easier, but not as easy as men. Exactly. Babies and female are the most difficult. Men are also less critical of their own appearance. Yes, and they're usually easier to draw and sculpt. Nico, make a course on texturing in Substance Painter. Okay, let me show you now. Yeah, you said it, but I have to show it. If you go to the link in the description of the video, Nikolai Naidanov, of artists. Okay, this is me. And we go here, we go to the store, and then we go down and we will see what? Absolute Beginner Substance Painter course. So this course, you will get high poly, you will get low poly of this character, and the low poly has UVs. So I will teach in this course, I'm teaching in this course how to bake in Substance Painter your model, high poly, low poly. You bake it in Substance Painter, and then you make some texturing and materials in Substance Painter. That's what I show in this course. So yeah, I have a course like that. So yeah, bummer, you know. For my first portfolio character, should I create a realistic stylized on monster design? For your first portfolio character, you should do whatever you feel it's nice for you to do. I mean, I like to do stylized things, so I do stylized. If you, for example, like and want to do something more like realistic, then you're welcome. If you want to do something very, very stylized, it's also fine. If you do it properly and if you render it nicely with good materials and nice environment or whatever, then it will be a nice concept piece. So yeah. And it's usually easier to make something very stylized than to make something with a lot of details and more realistic. I'm from Texas too, morning dude. Hello Texas. Texas, yeah, it's a morning there. Texas should be like 8 hours behind. So in Texas right now it's 8:30 in the morning, something like this. Hey, what softwares should I more focus on, Blender or ZBrush for getting a job? Both of them, I think. Yeah. Blender is a must, but ZBrush also, if you want to be a sculptor, is a good thing to know ZBrush. And you will notice, if you work with ZBrush, you will notice that the sculpting in ZBrush is a little bit more smooth than sculpting in Blender. Although, as I said, the difference is not that huge, and I'm completely fine sculpting in Blender, and I'm doing it for years. But it's a little bit smoother. It doesn't... it's not as smooth as the price difference between the softwares, because it's infinity. The difference is infinity times more in the price, but yeah. Pretty much no studio in VFX has used and is using Blender. So yeah, but Blender won the Oscar with a movie that no studio has made, right? That's interesting. So yeah, okay. Yeah. Have you thought about updating your texturing course in Substance Painter? Maybe, but I don't know. It's kind of fine. I mean, it's relevant to the current. And also, I'm using an old version of Substance Painter. I'm not using the newest Substance Painter, for example. I think my Substance Painter is 2020 version, which is completely enough for everything. And yeah, for me, it's fine. Nice sculpt of Mundo. Oh, you know who Mundo is. That's nice. You have both Substance Painter or you have cracked version. I think I have a cracked version, to be honest. And it's old. That's why I don't put a new version here, because I don't know, it's something like I'm a little bit concerned that I have a cracked version, so I don't want to get a new one. This one is working, so for me it's fine. And people are saying that it's good to buy it from, if you want to buy it from Steam. The Steam version is relatively cheap. Hello from Brazil. Hello from South Africa, from Brazil, from everywhere. Oh, yes. In South Africa, the time zone is very close to ours, so yeah. Do you have any experience with RenderMan? No, I don't. Is ZBrush easy to learn? I would say not so easy. Even if you know Blender or similar 3D program, ZBrush is very awkward program. But of course, every program is easy to learn if you put enough time into it. If you start using ZBrush and you start looking at courses, beginner courses and everything, and then you spend at least 100, 150 hours into ZBrush, you will learn it. It's not a problem. What do you think about 3D Code for texturing? I don't know about 3D Code because I haven't used it ever. How long until you started earn from a living with 3D? That depends on how fast you can be good enough. Got 3D Code, but I'm procrastinating to learn it. I've heard good things about 3D Code, so you can try it. But again, if you have Blender, I don't know why you need 3D Code, since 3D Code is paid program. Mostly I missed this live stream today, but for sure I watch replay later. Mundo is my main champ in LOL. I can't miss that. Oh, nice. So there are people who know what who Mundo is, which is great. I didn't know. But I saw the concept, I said it's a cool concept, it's a cool looking concept, so I decided to do it. Other than that, I don't know. He has some things like something, but I just did this because it's faster and easier. Any tips on getting started again? On getting started with what? I have tips for everything. If you want to get started in, for example, collecting knives, you have to start small. You have to start with cheap knives. For example, this one. It's a cheap knife. It costs around $15, and it's relatively nice. When you accumulate a lot of them, then you will get to more expensive knives, maybe even knives which are brand name. So this is Spyderco from USA, and it's a pretty cool knife. Then you can go to even higher level, like knives from Damascus steel and other stuff. So yeah, if it's about knives, of course. I was thinking of buying a new curved monitor. I heard that horizontal lines are distorted. Do you know if this is true? No, I haven't used curved monitors. I have two 32-inch monitors here, but I bought them, I think, 2 years ago. Before that, I was pretty happy with my 24-inch monitors, two of them. So I usually, when I buy monitors, I buy two exactly the same monitors, and I'm fine with them. I don't need one curved monitor. It's a vest from Asylum Crazy People. Vest from Asylum Crazy People, okay? Mundo. Just want to throw up appreciation to your content. I did learn so much from that. Thank you very much. Lemon Star 64. Nico has CS skins in real life. Yeah. I said almost no studio, but please tell me how Elmo, Weta, Sony, Framestore, MPC, they are using Blender. They, as I said, they are big studios. They are old studios, so they will probably not use Blender because of all those add-ons and stuff that they have to probably, transfer to Blender, and they don't want to do it. They prefer to stay the same. But you see, the new studios, the indie studios, which at some point some of them will become big, most likely, because there is no studio that starts like super big. Usually studios start small and they become big because they are having nice ideas, original ideas for games, and they have nice games, and those games are propelling them, like Supercell or Zynga back in the days. Doesn't matter. So those studios in the beginning, they start using Blender because now Blender is good enough. Blender is good enough for 5 years now, and the studios that have started in these 5 years, some of them probably will become big in the next years, and they will be using Blender. So Blender is starting to be more and more embedded in this. Of course, the old studios, not so much. Do you go camping with those knives? No, with those folding knives here, no. I have other knives for camping, bigger ones, like this, for example. Let me show you. This is for camping, because this knife is good for wood cutting. It's not a knife, it's a machete actually. So yeah, this is pretty big, and I've used it for cutting some tree branches. But this is relatively light and comfortable machete, and yeah. But I always carry one knife like this in the forest if I go, because the big one is for trees to cut and stuff. This one is to cut some vegetables and to make some sandwiches, whatever you have to do in the forest, to cut bread or whatever. This the small one, and it's light and it's comfortable. So yeah, what kind of tablets do you have? I have a 1 by Wacom tablet. 1 by Wacom. It's not Wacom 1. It's 1 by Wacom. Heineko, is your Wacom 1? It's not Wacom 1. It's 1 by Wacom. Graphic tablet with the screen version. No. You see, Wacom 1 is a screen tablet. Mine is 1 by Wacom. I don't know why they made this kind of a naming, but 1 by Wacom is the cheapest tablet from Wacom, and this is what I have. It's not with screen, it's not with anything. Love from Romania. Hello, Romania. By the way, I'm planning to visit Craiova, in Romania, of course, in November for the Christmas market in Craiova. They say it's one of the best in Europe, so we will come there with the car because it's close. It's like, I think, 5 hours from Sofia, from where I live. So it should be nice. Romania. Can you show your biggest knife you have? This machete is one of the biggest, but if I have to show you the biggest folding knife I have, I think I showed it the last stream or the stream before that, I'm not sure. It's pretty big. It's almost like the machete. It's not, of course, but yeah. Can you make Goku or some Dragon Ball character? I think I can. If you go to the streams and you kind of scroll through them, there is a character that looks like a Dragon Ball Z character, I think. By the way, if you have an iPad, did you try Nomad Sculpt? Yeah, I have not iPad, but I have my phone, which is Samsung phone, and yeah, this is my phone, and it has Nomad Sculpt, so I use it sometimes when I'm on the plane, for example, and I have the urge to sculpt something. I'm not able to concentrate on my work. I want to restart it. I need tips on that, sir. So, tips on the concentration. It's very, very difficult this day and age, even for me, to concentrate on one thing for a long time. Why? Because of all the distractions, my phone, also the social networks and everything. If you want to actually concentrate on something, you have to remove the distractions. So you have to put your phone away, put it on airplane mode if you have to, and you have to know that if you don't concentrate on what you're doing, you probably will not be able to get better in it. So yeah, this days and age is far more difficult than when I was learning. I realized that, and even for me, it's difficult to concentrate on one thing. It's just shitty place that we are in, you know. Just bought your course with Dragon, doing it right now. Very nice. The Dragon Girl course. This one probably, or another dragon, because I have another dragon also. This is the Dragon Girl. I call it Dragon Girl. It's a girl and the dragon, but whatever. Yeah. Do you know anything about MetaQuest 3? VR glasses, Nico. MR? No, it's VR. I know about the MetaQuest 2. The MetaQuest 3 is better than MetaQuest 2. So if you are into VR, if you want to waste your time in VR, I recommend MetaQuest 3 if you have the money. It's an amazing headset. I've heard. I have never tried it. I tried MetaQuest 2, and it was also nice, but it's not my thing. Also, it's tiring for my brain. When you start using it, after half an hour or a little bit more, you're starting to get dizzy a little bit, usually. So I'm not into this kind of things too much. I'm still confused. If I would buy this, it will be helpful to 3D modeling. No. I saw some of Blender's short videos with that, but I'm not sure. I don't recommend it, definitely, for 3D. I recommend it for fun. If you want to play some VR games or whatever, it's fine. But for sculpting, no. I don't know if you know, but there was a program, VR sculpting program. I don't remember how it was called, but they paid me. They were about to pay me to make a video for them. Paid video for their software. So they sent me this VR headset, so I tried it for the first time, MetaQuest 2, and I was getting good with their program, but their program is paid. It's around $60, I think. So it's not huge, but the program is paid, and it has far less functions than Blender. The only function that this program has over Blender is that it's VR oriented, and that's it, nothing more. So and it's paid, so I didn't get anything to actually say about this program. That they didn't like the video that I made, so we didn't. They said you have to remove this part, you have to remove this part. When I say it cannot be used for professional use, you have to remove that, and I say, okay, but you paid me to do my honest review of your software, and my honest review is that it cannot be used for professional use, so we just will not do business with you. And send them the headset back, and we just finished. That's it. They were pretty nice about it, actually. They didn't say that, no, you have to do the video, we will sue you. No. They say, okay, if you don't, it's fine. Why you carry too many knives? I don't carry too many knives. In my self, I usually carry one knife. But here because I like to just play with the knives, I just play with them. Just do this. And that's why I have so many knives on my desk and around the house. A lot of them. I collect high-end knives too. I have over 40 knives. I can send you some. Cool, I have over 400 probably knives. So yeah, a lot of knives. They're not high-end, most of them, but still, I have some high-end also. I don't know what you consider high-end. I consider high-end knife the knife which is cost more than $200, maybe more than 300 even. It's a high-end knife. And I'm pretty disappointed by my latest high-end knife because it's... I made a review in my other channel. I have a channel for knives actually, if you don't know. And this one is the high-end knife that I'm talking about. It's 500 euro. It's one of the most expensive knives I have, and it doesn't deserve it. It doesn't deserve this price, and that's a problem. When you see a knife which doesn't deserve this huge price, why is this price? The materials, not that big, not that good. The making of the knife, not that good. So it doesn't deserve the price. But it's the only thing is that this is one of 500. So maybe that's why the price is like this. So yeah, when something is limited, then people tend to value it more. Will you add lights behind? No. It's live. Cool. YouTube moved me here automatically. Really? I'm sculpting characters for games in ZBrush. Very nice. I also was sculpting characters for games in ZBrush, but now I'm sculpting characters for games in Blender. Nice to see LOL character. Hope you do more in the future. Probably, yeah, we'll see if I find nice concepts. Dragon Girl is like having two courses into one. That's true, yeah, it's pretty complex. Nico, do you think you need to improve more in your sculpting, or are you fine with your level of skill now? No, we always can improve. I mean, me included. I'm not happy what I am now. I know that I'm better than most, but when I see some people and how good they are, I'm like, okay, we can do better, right? Is the final of the stream? Yeah, it's final, you can go. It's fine. It's final. The stream is ended. What's the best tablet for beginner sculptors today? It should be comfortable. Every tablet is comfortable. For me, a cheap tablet is the better for beginners. My tablet is relatively cheap. It's one of the cheapest Wacom tablets. It's one by Wacom, so I think this is very good for beginners and professionals also. I'm a professional and I use this tablet, so it's fine. I like the jaw that you sculpt. Yeah, this jaw, like square jaw, but it's in the concept, so it's fine. Did you color your miniatures by yourself? No, I cannot do it. I paid a guy to do it. He's one of the best in Bulgaria in painting miniatures, and he's doing a great job, although it's pretty slow. For example, the Dragon Girl, I gave it to him, and I gave him the assignment to print it and to color it, and it was ready like at least 9 months after, so it takes him some time, but it's good quality. What's the biggest budget 3D printer? The best budget 3D printer? That's, I don't know. Did you do more testing with Chinese AI you mentioned in the Mod Girl course? Yeah, I did, and it's not ready yet. ShapeLab. Yeah, ShapeLab was the program. Then it will not be helpful even if it's less than Blender. Exactly. Did you get to send the MetaQuest back to them? Yes, I sent them back to them. The ShapeLab, yeah. Sir, would you like to say something about the fact that a man gains experience from his mistakes on beginning? No. I feel like every 3D artist is also a good 2D artist. Would it be true from a studio standpoint? No. I've seen 3D artists which cannot draw. They cannot draw. They are 3D artists from the beginning. They started and they learned ZBrush, for example, and they started to sculpt. Then they learned 3D Max or Blender, and they started to retopologize and to do UVs and all the other stuff to bake. So they learned the programs, and they also have artistic kind of a soul, we may say, but they are not 2D artists. They cannot draw. But if you are a 2D artist, a good one, then it's much easier to learn 3D and become better. I had an argument with my friend about in how many years AI will take 3D artist's job. He doesn't make 3D at all and said it will be 5 years. I'm saying no, not less than 20. What's your opinion? I'm leaning more on 5 with the current development of the AI. But you see, now I've seen some AIs that can make amazing props for environment. So amazing 3D props. So you can take these props, they are already textured and everything, and you can put them directly into Unreal and make a scene, which is great. But for characters, it's not ready yet. And I don't know when it should be ready. Maybe it will take 5 years, and maybe even after 5 years, it will be very good. It will make very good characters from concepts, but they still will need retouch by an actual good character artist. So we are not going to be extinct, I think. What's your channel for knives? It's called Nikuhart, by the way. Let me show you. I will show you. So if we go like this, and if we go to YouTube, I'm in studio, I have to go to YouTube. How to go to YouTube? This is the studio, this is my channel, as you can see, and I think from here we go to YouTube. Then this is what I watch. I watched recently this guy, by the way. He's eating a lot of things in different countries, and very, very entertainment videos he's making. But whatever, Nico Hart. This is my channel, yeah. And these are some of my videos. This video, by the way, is one of the most watched videos of this interesting knife that I did. 106k views it has. This is the knife that I am a little bit disappointed, my recent knife. But these are my videos. This is my channel. 1,250 subscribers. Not too much, but it's fine. I don't do this for subscribers. I just like knives, and I just do videos for knives sometimes. That's it. Nothing too much. How to add auto exposure in Blender? Auto exposure, I don't know. How did you change the lighting in the viewpoint? I didn't. I just go here and add shadows. And depth of field, it's not, yeah. Cavities also you can add. And yeah. Nico, are you planning to launch a torso anatomy course like head arm? Yes. Next year. How long before 3D printers print out a sculpting color affordably? I don't know. Maybe it will not be soon, because they are trying to do it now. They can do color color printing, but of course affordably no. It's pretty expensive. 9 months. I had almost same experience here in Greece too. Almost 6 months, but very good work and very cheap. Exactly. It's slow, but it's good and relatively cheap. It's not super cheap. You should have tried Substance Modeler. Maybe I haven't. How it will cost to a big company to develop just the sculpting of 15 characters? I don't know. I've been learning in art school for almost 10 years and always thought I sucked in art, even though I loved it. And then I started working in 3D and fully stopped doing 2D. So yeah, exactly. I was 2D artist before I became 3D artist, but I was not as good with color especially. So if I have to make a concept, I'm making the concept, but the colors that I put are not good. So I was not happy. So I started doing 3D, and I realized that in 3D, I don't have to invent colors by myself. They will be in the concept. So I just have to copy them from the concept, we may say. So it was a good thing for me. And also I always was good in geometry, in mathematics. So yeah. How much? Yes, okay. AAA like you do. We don't do AAA too much. AAA characters are difficult and expensive to do because they have to be almost perfect. Or perfect. So yeah, it's expensive. Just the sculpture of the character, it's almost half of the job. The other job is to retopologize it, to UV map it, to bake it, and to texture it. So those are the other half of the job for the character artist. Then you have to rig it Then you have to animate it. This is a job for other people, usually. So it's not cheap. Do you know if there is a way to set size pressure and strength pressure as keyboard shortcuts or quick favorites in Blender? I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it. Have you made 3D character in ZBrush and moved topology from MetaHuman on it? Do you have a video from it? No, I haven't. I haven't used MetaHuman too much. Do you have any advice on how to make a sculpt look less stiff? I've been sculpting for 4 months and my post characters always look a bit like puppets. It's about practice in my opinion and watching some references usually. If you don't watch references, yeah. Alright. Good work guys, and see you next video, which will be about I don't know what, but we will see, and yeah. See you then, everybody.